Oscar Bevis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here at MTK's Fight Night in Maidstone, and I'm joined by Mr. Ted Cheeseman. Ted, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate.
I just said to you off camera that last time you was on the channels, of course, after the defeat to Scott.
Yeah.
You were dejected, and it was quite an emotional interview. Obviously, times moved on and stuff. And have you watched the fight back? I take it.
Yeah, I've watched the fight back.
Yeah, and you just sort of want to tell me what you think now and sort of recap the whole thing.
For me, watching it being as biased as possible to Scott, I still scored it to me 7 rounds to 5. I mean, and even if you did go worse and give it a draw, it was a draw. But for it to be on 2 cards 3 rounds against me and 1 card 2 rounds against me, I just couldn't see what I was watching. But it's done. It's all said and done. On the night, you're angry, you're emotional. But now it's all said and done. I'm 24 years old. I'm still in a great position. I've just got to keep pushing on, keep improving in the gym. Everyone can see the improvements I've made now. I'm mentally fresh and everything's going well in my life. And I'm just looking forward to what 2020 is going to bring me.
A lot of people had actually made the point that, and I think you might have made this, I'm not sure, I think you might have, that it's almost as if Scott was wanted to win because it sets up the Fowler rematch, potentially, and that perhaps the judging was against you on the night. Do you still feel like that?
To be honest, I think since I boxed against Garcia when Maybe was gone and I was letting myself get it, really like put my head out there to get it, it's sort of, I think it was obviously a bad picture on the night for the sport, you know what I mean? So I think everyone sort of, it's like they've always been sort of thinking that I'm going to take punches, that's what I'm planning to do, but I'm not. I never took a lot of punches against Conway. I took a lot of shots on the gloves. He was a big gangly 6 foot like big fighter, and I had to try and get into him. With Scott Fitzgerald, I don't think I got hit with more than 10 clean punches, you know what I mean, the whole fight. So it shows that I'm improving, but I've boxed on the front foot, boxed on the back foot, but I ain't had no luck this year. But sort of you make your own luck now, so next year I've got to come back more determined, more improved, and go and get some KOs and make sure I don't go to the judges.
I mean, despite the fact that a lot of people said Sky want the Fitzgerald-Fowler rematch, a lot of people also said that the commentary was quite biased in your favour.
Yeah.
Have you had to listen to the Sky commentary and sort of the comments that people have made
look,
about that?
Obviously on the night you're angry, I ain't got nothing against Sky or no one, but look, as much as you can say that, if you listen for up to the 9th round, they're scoring me winning near enough every round. Then as soon as it got to 10, 11, 12 and Scott was sort of chasing me a bit desperate and I had to try and get the KO because they knew he was behind, Sky sort of changed. Well, a lot of the rounds earlier were close. They could have been scored another way, but it's mad because earlier on they weren't saying they was close. It was, look how
they
well
were giving them
boxing.
definite rounds too.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, listen, that's their job. They're paid. They work for Sky. You know what I mean? Everyone's got their own opinion, but it's all said and done. I just got to get on with it and push on. There's no point dwelling on it. I'm mentally strong, as everyone can see. I've come back time and time again after the setbacks I've had this year, and I'm only going to come back stronger again.
I mean, it seems like, obviously you said you're looking forward to 2020. It seems like there's a little square forming now, sort of you, Conway, Fowler and Fitzgerald, and they're all fights that, chuck any two of you in and they're all fights that people will want to see. What have you got in mind for 2020? Any of those guys? I take it you're probably looking for the Fitzgerald rematch for starters.
Yeah, I'd love the Fitzgerald rematch, but look, to be honest, for my career at the start, I've been pushing and thinking about the short term and not the long term. And I've got to start thinking about the long term, and it's down to my team and my management to work me out a new plan for the new year. But I'm sure it'll be like they've done a good job for me so far. A lot of things I've pushed for, so I can't really complain too much. Do you know what I mean? And as much as I ain't had luck, I've achieved a lot already. I fought for a European title. I've been British champion. I've been WBA champion. I've been English champion. You know what I mean? I've beat a lot of good fighters. So I've just got to take the positives and not look at the negatives. On the night, obviously, you're looking at the negatives, but when you sit back and let the time go by, you think about it all again, and that's probably my best performance as a professional boxer against Scott. So I'm obviously improving, and I think at one point everyone thought I'd gone sour and I'd reached my level. But the other night I showed I can box, I can fight, I can take a shot on the chin, I've got a lot of heart, and that's what it's all about. So I can do. I'm an all-round fighter. Do you get what I mean? But people were doubting that because of my performance at the start of the year. But I've done it for years. I've boxed since I was 12 years old. You know what I mean? I'm 24 now, and there's still a lot to come. And I've got to stop worrying so quick now. The rematch with Scott. Well, let them get on with what they're doing. Look, when the time's right, things will happen, and my team will make it happen. So I just got to be patient and let things happen.
You seem like, obviously, you said one of the positives is that you box well off the back foot.
Yeah.
A lot of people alluded to that, and they said that this is something that is perhaps new and something that they hadn't seen before. But obviously, this is something that you're saying you knew you just hadn't perhaps put in practice before.
Yeah, when I boxed Carson Jones, a lot of the fight I boxed on the back foot. When I won all my national titles as an amateur, I boxed on the back foot. But when your head ain't mentally there, you fight with emotion and anger instead of your brain. And the other night, I boxed with my brain, you know what I mean? And it was a quality performance. So all I've got to do is keep a fresh mind, keep a strong head. And if I keep performing like that, I know more titles are going to come and more success is going to come.
Do you feel like if you were to box like that against Garcia, say you had that chance again,
yeah,
then you'd have been better placed to win the fight?
I'm not saying that I would have definitely won the fight, but it'd have been
It'd have put you in better
yeah,
stead.
it would have been a lot better fight, and I would have given myself a much more of a chance to win. Do you know what I mean? But you can't. Obviously, as I said, on the night you're always full up with anger. You're looking back at regrets and everything, and you can't dwell on stuff, because if I did dwell on that stuff, I wouldn't have boxed again after the Garcia fight. But now I've pushed on, I've been improving, and I just got to keep improving and doing what I'm doing in the gym. What Tony's doing is right because it's working, isn't it? But before, what Tony would tell me, he could tell me whatever, but if you're not listening and you're not doing what he's doing, he's not doing his job wrong, I'm doing my job wrong. But the other night I done my job right, and I felt very hard done by and unlucky not to get a decision. But that's it, there's no point in dwelling on it, it's done now. I can't do nothing, I can't change it no matter what I say, so I just got to push on and start improving, get ready for the new year.
And just finally, I want to talk to you about what your prediction might be when Scott and Anthony do get in the ring for the rematch, just obviously being highly touted like that's going to happen.
I don't know, it's a very close fight, the last fight, so you never know. I don't know. I think the other night everyone was saying Scott looked slow and ponderous, but it was the way I was boxing him, and I think I've showed people the way to beat him, you get what I mean? So
do you feel like Fowler's got the capabilities to box on the back foot like that?
I don't know.
Because of course that's a fight with emotion, them two going back and forth.
I'm not too sure. And if Scott can get you involved in a fight, he's a very strong fighter, a very big puncher. At times, when I look back at the fight, I think, should I have just stood there and had a fight? But no, we had a plan, like a tactics, and the tactics were working, so I didn't think I had to do it at the end. In the last few rounds, everyone going, no, I'm holding my feet. I wasn't holding my feet. Someone's chasing you, and at points, you can't just keep running. You know what I mean? I'm blocking with my arms and gloves. I weren't standing there with my hands down like I did before and taking shots. I was trying to ride the shots, not get much, pop the jab out, and I didn't need to stand there, no matter what, because you obviously go through the fight over hundreds of times in your head, what I could have or should have. But in my head, there ain't really much more I could have done, except for try to slow Scott down earlier. But it's very hard when you're boxing off the back foot to try and take the energy out of someone, unless I was pushing him back. But that weren't the tactics. So, but I don't think Fowler will be able to box like that, because that ain't his style. Fowler's a fighter, like comes forward fighting, but he counters off the front foot. But it won't counter off, like moving around, bouncing around the ring and jabbing and moving. So it's hard, but I've given everyone the way to beat him. I've showed the way how to beat him. So he's not unstoppable. Everyone thought at the after the Fowler fight he's the next best thing or whatever. But as much as I never got the decision, I still thought I'll beat him, and I proved I was the better fighter that night, I thought. But everyone's got their own opinions, and that's it. There's no more really that can be said about it. Listen, Scott's a nice fella. I got full respect for Scott, because after the fight he could have said, look, I won that fight, I don't care what anyone says. He said after at the decision, if Ted got the fight, I couldn't complain, and I give him respect because he didn't need to say that. But he's a really good fighter, and I think he'll go on and do big things, but I think I will too. But it's a good little circle, like you say, what we got. There's loads of fighters, as much as us four. You got Sam Egerton, then you got James Metcalf, there's Jason Wellborn. These are all fights that are all good for the British public and can be made.
Okay, Ted Cheeseman, I'm going to leave it there. Whatever happens in 2020, whatever you've got in store, we look forward to seeing you out again, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.